said you're going to do the intro.
Oh, I thought you were doing it.
You said you're doing it.
Guys, Mark goes, we'd just be smiley and be powerful, and we're both sitting here doing absolutely nothing. Guys, good morning, Friday Frenzy. We're going to do something a little bit different this morning. We are going to let you guys run the show. So we're going to ask you for some Q&As. We're going to answer. You can ask us about anything, and then we're going to just briefly talk about what it's like to work together. All right. So, guys, we're going to, as I said, we're going to get you to ask us some questions this morning. We're going to answer those for you.
Yes.
But first, we're going to start off talking about what it's like to work together. Because a lot of people ask, don't they?
They do.
Lots and lots of people ask. So, Mark, what's it like to work with your wife?
It's, it's actually pretty easy.
Right.
No,
Elaborate.
No, like... I got the shits the other day over something. I said something to you.
With me?
Yeah. I think it was, look, I think sometimes you just want to do but I think that's not working with your wife. That's just being a bloke. Like sometimes you just want to turn your brain off.
Yeah.
You don't want nothing incoming. And you put yourself in a position where there's nothing incoming. And then an incoming one goes,
yeah.
Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And you're like, just want to, but that's not really work.
No, that's not really work. And so, guys, this morning for everyone that's tuning in, we are talking about what it's like working together.
It disturbs some people.
Most people are like, I don't know how you work with your husband, or I don't know how you work with your wife.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that we rarely actually talk to each other at work.
Yeah.
Because we're both off doing our own things. We do not drive to work together.
That would suck.
That would be just, that's...
Yeah.
Nah. And it's not necessary. What for?
Petrol?
No, we don't need to drive to work together.
Yeah.
We both need our individual cars. We're both on the phone the whole way into work.
You got stuff. You got to get shit done on the way home and on the way to work.
I have my team meeting on the way into work.
Yep.
So, but no, we don't drive into work together. And yes, we do work together. But here's a fun fact, guys. I have only been working full time in the business for about, would you say 6-7 years, Mark?
Yep.
Prior to that,
Jade going to high school.
That's right. Yeah, our youngest daughter.
Yep.
Prior to that, I was working in the background of the business, and I was working 2 to 3 days a week helping out with marketing. So I only launched headfirst into sales about 5 years ago, and that's when I started working 5,300 hours a day.
I actually something you would find interesting is my mates. Like Revel in Lisa doing higher volume than me in sales. They're always taking the piss out of me for it.
Yeah.
Always. It's like, they make me feel like a little boy.
They're always saying, how does it feel, Mark, to have your wife come and whip your ass?
Yeah, so the other night we had a poker
it's a
night.
Bit of a running joke.
I had a poker night with 10 guys come over, and Lisa was walking through the room, and then one of the guys shouts, "Hey, Lisa, who works longer? Is it Mark or you that works longer?" And I'm like, if this gets answered, it's going to be dangerous territory because however it gets answered, someone's going to blow up. So, yeah, it just gets bad. And then the other one the other day was...
But the irony of it, you guys were already starting your poker game at 7:30 and I had just walked in the door from work and I think it was 7:45 in my suit.
And then, and because I went home early for
the
poker game.
This is true. This is true.
But another one was the guy, like the other day, I knew I was being set up by a really good mate of mine, Mr. Damien Scarf, and he sat opposite.
It's
and he
brutal.
Goes, and you just know he's going to remember whatever you're going to say. He always regurgitates stuff from like 10 years later. He goes, so, with like income and stuff, like, who would be earning like more income in the business out of you or Lisa? I thought,
This is...
This is just, he's just
This is
gonna set up like you answer it honestly, dishonestly. Any answer is just he's gonna throw it back in my face.
That's it. It's not.
He's gonna throw it back in my face. So that's been interesting.
Yeah.
That's been interesting.
All right, guys.
Dealing with your mates, but yeah.
Dealing with your mates is interesting. So Q&A Friday today. Ask away. Ask us questions. Here to answer anything at all.
Yeah.
We can talk about real estate. We can talk about life. We can talk about what it's like to work with your husband or wife. But that is what we're starting off the show with this morning.
Technical questions.
Well, Mark can answer those. I'm happy to answer social media ones. But, it's really, really fine the two of us working together. My parents worked together. My parents ran a really, really successful training college, private training college of natural health and beauty.
The Australian College of Natural Therapies.
Australasian College of Natural Therapies, which
Surrey
they
Hills.
sold about, 16 years ago now. It was a really big college. We had about 3,000 students at that time in a big building in Favo Street, Surrey Hills. And my parents worked together forever, like for as long as I could possibly remember. And what I do know is when a husband and wife can work together, not all can, but when they do, when they can, it's usually quite a magical combination. And I don't want to run the business. I'm very happy for Mark to play that part in the business. I don't want to do that. I want to just, work as a salesperson within our business. We are a team of 50. A lot of people think just because you see the regulars coming on to our social media, it's just a handful of people. We actually have 50 staff. So it's quite a big team between admin, property management, girls and guys, leasing, new business, accounts, support, media, commercial, sales support, and then salespeople.
Yeah.
Admin.
And
blah, blah, blah.
and I do have to say, I reckon if the best advice I can give you working with your wife, that if it doesn't work, put a bullet through it.
Yeah, because I reckon it could.
Just give up.
Don't do it. Yeah, exactly. Don't do it. What's Daniel got to say? That never worked working with my wife. There you go. Tried and failed. Tried again and failed every time. We don't have it. It's not that, Daniel. I think most people couldn't. Like, I reckon if we asked the majority of our friends, and we do have this conversation with them regularly, they're like, I don't know how you guys do it. We don't really see each other that much during the day. We don't drive in together. We don't do lunches together. We don't sit together.
I think it's more than that. I think everyone starts, even though you're not physically there, you still stick to your lane. And I think, everyone sticks to their lane, and sometimes that doesn't work with couples in a business. Or someone may come home and say, look, that guy really offended that girl in the office, and I don't stand for that. And, they're saying that to each other. It's like, well, I wouldn't have had this conversation if you weren't working in the office. So I think sometimes it starts just to get a little bit.
Where I reckon it wouldn't work is if I had to be say for instance, you and I listed and sold property together, Mark, like if we were in one team together, or if I was your assistant, or that would be awful. It wouldn't work because Mark would be like, can you just do that? And I'd be like, don't talk to me like that. It would be constantly. We don't work together that closely. So yes, I'm in sales. Yes, Mark's in sales. Mark runs the business and I just stick to my lane in sales. I've got my own team. And I reckon I'm in the office a couple of hours a day and that's it. The rest of the time I'm out. I'm in meetings, appraisals, doing open homes, just doing what a salesperson does. So I'm really, really in the office.
But I do have to admit, we've got help at home.
Yeah.
So everyone must think, how do you manage the cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, Mark?
Mark doesn't it? Do you know where the stove is? I don't think Mark knows where the stove is.
We did invest. We did invest in that, and that really hurt. But that investment was better for like good harmony. So when you get home, shit's where it should be. we're having to. So that's I must admit we did invest in that early, and that did pay dividends.
Well, we had a conversation going back
Having
many
someone
years
help you.
ago. We were on a road trip to somewhere, and we were talking about things that we love doing and things that we don't love doing. And we started siphoning out and working out better ways to deal with the stuff that we just didn't love doing.
Do you want to see the list?
So, yeah, I'd love to know how many years ago that was from. We do these weird things. But yeah, look, as I said, guys, we actually we enjoy working together. We don't argue a lot. There's always I'm always saying to we've got two girls, one's 25 and one's 17, and I'm always saying to our kids, you've got to base your relationships on trust, friendship, and respect. Trust, friendship, respect, because the love will very quickly fly out the door. Such a boys thing to say, but the love will very quickly fly out the door. I bet all the guys are laughing at the moment and all the girls are going, love will very quickly fly out the door when one of those, two of those, or three of those pillars fall down.
Yeah, don't base it on looks.
Friendship, respect and trust, guys.
I was boxing above my weight. At least I didn't base it on looks. I got better looking as I got older.
It's like a fine wine, Daniel has something else to say. That never worked. Tried and failed. What's that next one? I would love to have it.
And if you've got any questions, guys, Q&A off topic. Doesn't have to be this topic. Anything asked today. We're doing.
Hey, Wendy. Good morning. Thank you so much.
An open session Q&A today on anything.
What's boxing? Look, what's boxing above your weight? It's when you think that someone is.
So when you don't know.
No, I absolutely know.
What is it?
It's when you feel like your wife is so much better looking than what you are, and you think that you're boxing well above your weight.
It's not.
Okay, explain it then.
In a boxing
or
ring,
vice versa.
Boxing ring, it's in weight divisions, depending on how much you weigh.
Yeah.
So there's like welterweight, there's lightweight, there's heavyweight, and if you're a heavyweight, you can pack a huge punch, and they're not going to put a heavyweight in the boxing ring with a lightweight. So if you're boxing above your weight, you're actually in the next weight division. You're doing real well. So people have always said that I was.
So hang on, were you boxing above me, or was I boxing above you?
I was boxing above my weight.
Is he trying to say that I'm fatter than him?
Get it. No one gets it.
Okay,
so
go.
So when he was saying, when you say, Mark, you're boxing above your weight, it's like you're a lightweight, a bit, pathetic, and you're boxing the big division, like with the big boys. So you got a, hot wife.
Right. Which is pretty much what I said, but okay. All right, here, let's get to the list. Highest and best use.
Okay, we've got some questions coming through. We're going to come to your questions in a second. Oh, so that's that list that we did. It doesn't actually say with Apple Notes because it takes it as the last time you opened it or made a thing. But I reckon it was about 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
So this is our highest and best use. We did it on a road trip.
And this is a road trip we did to Coffs, and we stayed at the house. We said, look, I remember I think we're on the tennis court having a chat about it, and Mark was good at, for instance, training systems, technology, selling strategy, networking with spheres of influence, SOIs, moving gears and pedals, investing and working with six triggers internally only. It's been embarrassing, this one. Don't like calls inbound. That's people calling me. Well, we got crazy for a while. I was like, hundreds of calls in a day. Emails,
that stopped a lot with WhatsApp, didn't it?
Yeah, I really don't like emails.
I don't like emails.
I didn't like washing my car, fueling my car. The looseness in accounting in our business, which we fixed with Xero. Some good stuff, and HR, doing that basic HR stuff, high level stuff, like doing not high level. So basically, that was like an example of my highs and lows, and they're things that we fixed.
But they're interesting, these lists, guys, because when you actually dig down and ask yourself, what are the things that you love to do and what are the things that you don't love to do. And it could be the most menial things, like I just don't love taking the garbage bins out every week. I don't love having to put petrol in my car, whatever it is, and work out if there's another way that you can actually fix that for yourself. Even if it's like, oh, well, I'll get the kids to take the bins out and we'll swap a chore out with something else, whatever it is, right? But you'd be surprised that adjusting those little things around, how much headspace it can actually free up. It's quite incredible. I mean, we all naturally as humans lean towards doing the things that we love more so. Hence why everyone's probably not, in this world skinny and fit, because not everyone loves to get up early and go and exercise. Not everyone loves to eat clean. Just some examples there, but we naturally lean towards the things that we love to do. So when you write these lists out and see what's actually sitting there in the back of your brain, it's interesting what you get down on paper. So we really made a conscious decision of just sort of trying to shuffle that around as best that we could and work out how our days can be more productive so that we really do enjoy what we do. That's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, it sounds pretty silly, but doing what you love, it's actually hard to do because you get caught up with everything else. So
yeah,
it's really, really hard. So stay focused.
Someone asked me,
my friends.
Someone asked me a couple of weeks ago in an interview, when are you going to stop doing what you do? And I said, the day that I wake up and I no longer get excited about going to work. I genuinely do love what I do.
Luke's got a question. We've finally got a question today, guys.
You guys have been so quiet on your questions.
Any questions?
This is the opportunity.
Lots of comments, but not many questions. Any questions? Anything in real estate? We will answer it.
Yep.
Luke's got a question.
Let's go.
I love Luke.
Luke's a legend. It tunes in every single day.
Best buyer's agent in the world.
Let's have a look. What's that question there, Mark? Rental crisis thoughts.
Build more shit.
Yeah. Mr. Harry Triggerbov is a very, very smart man. 91, I think he is. He did an interview last week on exactly this. Not just the rental crisis situation, but also the inflation situation. And his answer was very, very simple. Build vertically. That's his answer to the rental crisis situation, and that's his answer to inflation. We just need to build more housing. That's it.
Well,
I don't think the government did a great job of supporting the builders and developers.
No, but they did in different states. Like
really?
I've always maintained that in places like Queensland or Melbourne, the planning permissions are so much easier.
Are they? Luke, can you let us know about that? I'm interested. Are there more cranes in the skies?
To get stuff built and allowed and permitted in Sydney is so much harder than what it is in other states. So it's really, really hard for this city to become great when you've got those sort of tight planning permissions. Yeah. I think as a government you've got to fix stuff. I think fixing, and you can do what you can do with your own hands. Inflation is a bit of a wild card. It's very hard to control, very hard to understand, and I get that they don't have a direct lever on that, but they do have a direct lever on building more properties, and they should allow with compliance. More stuff to get done, and that really genuinely will help.
Yeah.
That with the spin-off of the building industry is unbelievable. Who benefits from when a building gets built? Electricians, plumbers, financiers, like people that are moving in. Everyone benefits.
But I just want to say, the rental situation. I mean, we have a meeting with our rentals team every week.
What are you doing?
Well, I just want to pull up what's going on with rentals. So what's really going on with rentals? So at the moment we have
18.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
18 properties for rent. Okay, so that's probably about half of what we usually have.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say zero.
No.
So there's 18 properties there to rent, and they're coming on all the time. There are properties to rent. Rents have certainly gone up on the northern beaches. Have they gone up out of control so that people can't afford them? Not really. They didn't. 2-bedroom apartments in DY, Mark, did not go up rental-wise for a good 5-6 years.
10. 15.
They sat at $5.50 a week.
Rubbish.
for a really, really long time.
Rubbish rents for a long time for landlords.
Can I also just say, guys, before we wrap up, we're going up to the Gold Coast tomorrow. The biggest real estate conference in the Southern Hemisphere is on. We love it. All real estate agents love going to AREC, A-R-E-C, Australian Real Estate Conference, put on by John McGrath. He's been doing it for years and years.
Plenty of testosterone there, kids.
There's going to be, they've got Reese Witherspoon, they've got Ryan Serhard. I mean, some massive names that are going to be speaking at a real estate conference, which draws about 6,000 real estate agents across Australia and New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was just in New Zealand this week doing a conference, but it's great. It's wonderful networking. It's lovely to see the industry coming together. We're going to catch up with some great mates up there as well.
We're driving.
And we're really looking forward to it. Yeah, we're driving. We're driving up. I get every year at the same time, I get a middle ear infection just for no reason at all. And it's that time of the year again when I've got a middle ear infection and can't fly.
Road trip.
Yeah, so we're on a road trip. So follow us, guys. We are going to be doing lots and lots of social media content over the coming days.
On the road trip as well.
On the road trip too, why not? And yeah, we look forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Can't wait. But hopefully we'll bring you guys some good, juicy little insights into AREC for those of you that can't attend. 2 years ago, Mark, I was speaking there.
Yeah. Had an infection there as well.
I was so sick. I had the worst. Must just be
We'd
that one time of the year when I just get the flu or something.
We flew up and had to drive back. Had to hire a car to drive back.
Yeah, yeah. One of the scariest moments of my life was talking on that stage in front of 6,000 people.
Yeah.
Good luck at AREC. We'll be following you there. Yeah, as I said, we're going to bring you guys some little juicy little snippets along the way. We'll see who we can find, do a few little interviews. We'll document it for those of you guys that couldn't make it so that you feel like you're on the journey with us.
Boom.
Thanks,
everyone. Love you. I'll see you. Bye.